Chapter 1. Setting the Stage. In the early 1940s, Los Angeles was a city simmering with racial tensions. The United States was deeply entrenched in World War II, and Los Angeles had become a melting pot of diverse communities. The city was home to a significant population of Mexican Americans, African Americans, and white residents, but it was also plagued by deep-rooted racial discrimination. The Zoot Suit, an extravagant and defiant style of clothing, had taken hold among Mexican American youth, symbolizing a form of rebellion against the prevailing societal norms. Chapter 2. The Zoot Suit Style. The Zoot Suit was more than just a fashion statement, it was a bold declaration of identity. Characterized by its oversized, shoulder-padded jackets, baggy trousers, and flamboyant accessories like fedora hats and chain belts, the Zoot Suit was an expression of individuality, an act of resistance in a society that systematically marginalized Mexican Americans. The attire was a tangible representation of their rejection of conformity, a way of saying, "We are here, and we are proud of our culture." Chapter 3. The Rise of Anti-Mexican Sentiment. As World War II heightened tensions across the nation, Los Angeles was no exception. A wave of anti-Mexican sentiment began to grip the city. Many white residents and servicemen saw Mexican Americans as unpatriotic and considered their Zoot Suit attire as a symbol of defiance. Newspapers and politicians fueled these tensions by publishing sensationalist headlines and using divisive rhetoric. Mexican Americans were unfairly targeted and painted as un-American. Chapter 4. The Catalina Incident. On June 3, 1943, the Zoot Suit Riots ignited with a violent incident on Catalina Island. A group of sailors on shore leave from the Naval Reserve Training Station in San Pedro attacked a gathering of Mexican-American teenagers, accusing them of being Zoot Suiters. The violence on Catalina Island marked the initial spark that would ignite a citywide outbreak of brutality and prejudice. Chapter 5. The Escalation. Following the Catalina incident, violence rapidly spread throughout the streets of Los Angeles. Sailors, soldiers, and white civilians began to roam the city, assaulting Mexican-American youth wearing Zoot Suits. The police, in many instances, failed to intervene, and the rioters acted with impunity. Brutality intensified, as did racial tensions, with victims disproportionately being young Mexican-Americans. Chapter 6. The Response. In the face of this violence, Mexican-American community leaders and activists began to organize to combat the discrimination. The Sleepy Lagoon Defense Committee and the Mexican-American Youth Association emerged as key players. They argued that the Zoot Suit Riots were not merely about fashion. They were symptomatic of deeper racial divisions and long-standing discrimination against Mexican Americans. Chapter 7. The Role of the Media. The media played a pivotal role in shaping public opinion during the Zoot Suit Riots. While some newspapers condemned the violence and called for an end to the attacks, others actively encouraged the rioters by publishing sensationalized stories that further inflamed the situation. Eventually, as the riots spiraled out of control, the federal government felt compelled to intervene, deploying military personnel to restore order and end the violence. Chapter 8. The Aftermath. By early June, the Zoot Suit Riots began to subside, and military authorities ordered servicemen to leave Los Angeles. The aftermath of the riots left a scar on the city. Despite the destruction and injuries, the events forced Los Angeles to confront its deeply rooted racial discrimination and prejudices. Furthermore, the Zoot Suit Riots had a lasting impact on the Chicano civil rights movement. Mexican-American activists, galvanized by the events, became more determined than ever to fight for their rights and equal treatment. Chapter 9. Legacy and Lessons. The Zoot Suit Riots are a poignant reminder of the complex relationship between fashion, identity, and social tensions. They serve as a stark historical illustration of the deep-seated racism and prejudice faced by Mexican Americans and other minority communities during a turbulent period in American history. The Zoot Suit Riots, hold a significant place in the narrative of civil rights struggles, reminding us of the ongoing need to combat discrimination and prejudice, and to uphold the values of equality and justice for all.